305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is.
There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Yeah. Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's your surely probably Pablo. Culture. Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Judge, you tuned in to the highest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat. Well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the Big O Show. Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, it's alive, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping it glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the woman's in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sport talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call them and let them know. Culture, Probably Pablo, you know, now introducing the man of the hour. Big O, a.k.a. Orlando Russell Gary. Yeah.
All righty. Yes, sir. Good morning. You made it. It's a Friday. We got the weekend here. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope you all are well out there. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for those of you that are already checking in on the YouTube page. And, of course, those of you that have been downloading, and the numbers continue to go up and up and up. So every day we continue to surpass the day before, and it is, wow, Leon Fresco wastes no time whatsoever, sending in a super chat. Thank you, Leon Fresco. Thank you. Appreciate it. Remember, Leon, we're trying to encourage you to stay away from the super chat and go to the Cash App, okay? But I appreciate it big time as Leon Fresco chimes in on a little super chat action right away, man. That's strong, Leon. You waste no time whatsoever, my man. Appreciate you. He says the big oh. Insert a little Andrew Dice Clay sound in there, right? So that's why I go oh, the big oh, all that. All right, good. I could not do that a couple months ago, actually. There was no way I could do it a couple months ago. So anyway, welcome aboard to all of you out there on a beautiful Friday. Omar Kelly and Manny Navarro Fridays. As you all know, they are exclusive to us here on the Big O Show. We're so proud and honored to have them on the show every week, and they're going to be on every week, twice a week. And once football starts, that's going to be awesome to have that. And I got some interesting questions for both of them today. Omar's segment is at 11:30, and Manny Navarro is at 12:30. All right. And for those of you that are maybe just tuning in today or just downloading the podcast for the first time or something along those lines, we actually made a couple of announcements yesterday. We are going to be doing our own pre and post game show for the Miami Dolphins. So we'll be doing a Dolphins pre and post game show every week at Sports Grill. It'll be at two locations, Bird and 114th or Miami Lakes. We'll do it. We're not going to alternate every week. What we're going to do is do it all in one location for the first half of the season and all in the next location for the second half of the season. Not sure which is the first half, whether it's Bird Road or Miami Lakes, but we'll get it done one way or another, and we'll set it all up. So if you want to join us there. Also, very happy to announce Kyle Krabs will be joining us every single week starting in August. So in the first week of August, every Wednesday, Kyle Krabs will be on with us on the program. So we'll have some fun with Kyle, and we're adding more and more insiders and more people that'll be a part of this show. And that way, what we want to do is create the kind of environment and the kind of show that every South Florida sports fan says, okay, I got to tune in there. We got all our people there. They're going to give us all the insight. And that's kind of what we want to do. Insight, opinion, all kinds of good stuff. There you go. Pipe Man Slim says, what's up, Big O? Was hoping for a bigger dip in crypto. Yeah, there was a little bit, and then it's coming back again. But we've kind of been fluctuating kind of in the same area. The good thing is, Pipe Man Slim, I don't know about you, but I've VeChain, 7-8 cents. You can still reload on VeChain. It's a great time to buy VeChain, stuff like that. So there's still some really, Chili's is down around 24 cents, which is a really good bargain to get Chili's. So there's still some stuff. I know that, Ethereum is back up over 2,000. I think it's around 2,100, 2,200, which is still a pretty decent deal, man, for it, actually. And buying Bitcoin right now in the low to mid 30s is actually value also. So there's still some really good values right now to take advantage of in the crypto market before it does bounce back. So that's kind of, I know that we've got John Rouse. I see him there. He's there. And I know Rouse is dying for it to take off because he made that big purchase of Ethereum, and he's already making cash right now. And it's going to happen. But I told him, about a week ago, it's not so bad if the consolidation period lasts a couple more weeks here, because it's not like it's going to tank, but it's going to consolidate, and that gives people some time that they got another check-in, and maybe they get a little more cash here or there, and they're able to buy some stuff and take advantage of it right now, because 6 months from now, when that thing is skyrocketing, and then the next dip comes, it won't be this low. And so you've got to take advantage now, because this is probably the last times you're going to get Cardano in the low dollars. You're going to get, Matic just above $1 right now. Ethereum just over 2,000. These kind of things are not going to happen anymore. You're not going to see it. And, when Bitcoin had its last crash a couple of years back, it went to 8,000. Now it's in the low to mid 30s. And the next time it goes up, when it comes back down again, it won't be in the low to mid 30s. It'll be like the 50s or something like that, which will be the bargain at that time for somebody, or 60s or something, because it's going to be flirting with the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. So that's, it's kind of part of the process. So it's not so bad right now that you have a little bit of a dip in the crypto market. It actually is an opportunity, is the way I look at it right now. It's an awesome opportunity. Rosendo says, "Good morning, Big O. May you be blessed with a good Friday full of adventure and good times. May all of your negativity fade away as Friday arrives. Have a great weekend ahead." Well, I gotta tell you, Rosendo, right now it's no negativity right now, man. Right now it's looking positive, and we're moving forward here on the show, and we're growing every single day, and we're working our asses off to grow every single day. And again, I thank all of you out there for subscribing, for smashing the like button, for the super chats or the cash apps. And obviously, if you can visit any of our sponsors, it's enormous. There's many ways for us to grow, and I appreciate all of the ways that people can contribute and help us out here on the program. So thank you very, very much. Let's start off with the little sons, right? Let's start off with Lisa's sons. Is Lisa in the house? I don't know if I've seen her on the chat board there yet, but Suns got it done last night. They improved to 2-0, and congratulations to them. Listen, you start to look at some of the things that went on in that game. The 3-point shooting. Phoenix was 20 of 40. So they shot 50% from 3-point range. Milwaukee, well, they went 9 of 31. They shot 29%. There's an enormous difference. Free throws. Phoenix shot 12 of 14 from the free throw line. So when they went to the line, they made it count. Milwaukee was 15 of 23. They shot 65%. And Giannis, of course, was the main culprit. He was 11 of 18 from the line. So he missed 7 of those free throws. They missed 8. He missed 7 of those 8. That's pretty much where you have the difference in the game. The 3-point shooting and then the free throws. And Giannis can't get to the point where he's consistent enough from the free throw line. And let me tell you something. He better this offseason find a way to become consistent from the free throw line. Okay? That he's going to need that. I don't expect him to become a 3-point shooter. That's just not in the cards right now. I don't know if it ever will be for Giannis. Maybe that's just not his thing, dude. Julius Erving wasn't a great shooter. He developed a shot and was decent from the outside. Killed you around the paint. Dwayne Wade wasn't a great shooter. Got better as an NBA player. Coming out of Marquette, wasn't a reliable outside shooter. He improved. Guys have improved. Magic Johnson improved his outside shot, that little shot put even from 3-point range. Jason Kidd improved his outside shot as the years went on in the NBA and became actually a pretty good 3-point shooter. Now, both him and Magic had kind of like this shot put like shot from 3-point range, but it worked for them. They found a way to be somewhat productive. And look, maybe Giannis can turn into Magic and Kidd down the line as his career goes on. Maybe he figures it out. I mean, Shaq never figured out the line, ever. He sucked at the free throw line his entire career. But if you're going to be the main player on your team, then you need to be as efficient as possible. And you can't be that inconsistent at the line. And you got the crowd picking on you and doing the count and all that, and it's in your head. And listen, you can't really complain about Giannis because the guy hyperextends his knee, comes back a week later, and it played lights out. Yesterday, Giannis was 42 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks. A hell of a game. But I'm just saying, you got to improve at the free throw line. You have to. Those are the gimmies. When you get fouled, you need to go to the line and make people pay. Because if you don't, then they're going to continue to foul you like Shaq had throughout his whole career and the hack of Shaq and all that stuff. And they had to take Shaq out at the end of games at times because he was a liability at that point. And they knew that it would cost them games. I remember at first when that Hack-a-Shack stuff started, it was kind of looked at as a joke, but then it became, the right strategy. And over the years, that's turned out to be that way, that if you got a guy that's a liability out there and they're going to leave him out there, then foul his ass, put him at the line because he's only going to get one of two in best case scenario. You're going to go to the other side of the court, get a 2 or a 3. You're distancing yourself. And look, the Suns, 3-point, like I told you, they made 20 of them to Milwaukee's 9. And there can't be a difference of 11 3-point shots between the two teams. And part of it is Chris Middleton, who shot 5 of 16 for 11 points. And this is the reason why when Chris Middleton has those games, you all of a sudden say, oh, well, maybe he could be, he's a really good player. Yes, he's a really good player, but he's not a star. Because stars impose their will every single night. And that's why Chris Middleton is the guy that's the borderline all-star player. Good player. Nobody's ever going to deny Chris Middleton's not a good player. You play fantasy basketball, you want Chris Middleton as one of your forwards. You know what I mean? He's a good player. Now, is he a star? And these are the moments where they needed the star to rise above and help out Giannis. And Drew Holiday yesterday, to his credit, had 17 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Kid played his ass off. But Middleton's got to be better, man. They against this team, the Suns, who are explosive all over the place, you got to match it. So if you're going to match Mikal Bridges' 27 points and CP3's 23 and Booker's 31, well, then Middleton cannot come up short and go 5 of 16 from the field. He can't have 11-point nights in this series. It's impossible. He has to be better. So you look at Giannis, you got to improve the free throws. You look at Middleton, and he is what he is. Giannis can go work on it in the offseason and become a better free throw shooter because he should just go to the gym every day in the offseason and shoot 4,000 free throws. He needs to figure out that free throw line. Forget the 3-point range. That free throw line, he has to figure that out because he plays in the paint. And if you play in the paint, you're going to get fouled. And if you're going to get fouled, you're going to go where? To the line. You know what I mean? So it's not like you rely on him to be a 3-point shooter. As for Chris Middleton, he is what he is. And we can't keep trying to paint him into some kind of a picture that he doesn't belong in. So that's kind of the issue with the Bucks. So the Suns end up taking a 2-0 lead. By the way, that whole series of passes that ended up with the Ayton layup, that was like selfless basketball is a beautiful thing. Back in the day, you would always admire how the Boston Celtics can pass the ball without touching the floor from one end of the court to the other. And because it was a team that was selfless. While they had the great players all over the place, you had Bird and you had McHale and you had Dennis Johnson, you had Parrish and you had some other terrific role players like Danny Ainge and stuff. They were always selfless in the process. They found the open guy every single time, and they made basketball easy for themselves. A couple years ago, I hate to bring up the pain. I'm sorry, Heat fans, but it was painful for me too. But that last year of the Big Three, when they got their asses absolutely throttled by the San Antonio Spurs, I have to admit this. That's some of the most beautiful basketball I have ever seen a team play in San Antonio. And part of it was they were selfless. The passing was immaculate, as Jim Morrison would say in The Wasp. Okay? It was immaculate. We is stoned, immaculate. So it's just one of those deals where that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And this Suns team is mature beyond its years because of the Chris Pauls of the world, because of the Jay Crowders of the world. It is really amazing to watch how those guys, and Booker, if he sees CP3 going off, it's not like his ego, like, I've got to be the guy. He understands it, lets it go. If it's Aiton's night, it is Aiton's night. If it's Cam's night, it's Cam's night. Mikal Bridges yesterday was part of it. I really love the fact that team, and this is why they're 2 wins away from winning, the world championship. They play for themselves, man. They truly do. It's really cool to watch the culture that James Jones has been able to develop quickly with this team. It's really cool to watch these young players grow. I mean, we got a young guy in our neighborhood here in our backyard that did not do a lot of growing last offseason into this season that just passed. And now Tyler Hero's got a checklist to work on this offseason to see if he can get back to where he was 2 years ago and build on that. He had some good moments this year. I'm not going to say he was terrible, but he did not take a step forward to where we want to see him and where we hope that he can get to. You know what I'm saying? But I admire the hell out of this Phoenix Suns team. I really do. I admire their maturity. I admire the way they've handled all of this. It is impressive. Now, the part that sucks is we got to wait till Sunday now for Game 3. They actually get 2 days off here for the travel. So they'll be off tonight. They'll be off Saturday, Sunday at 8 o'clock on ABC. It'll be Game 3 of that series. And we'll see if and the Bucks are in a position where they must win both. Okay? The series is over if they lose one of two. Obviously, it's over if they lose both. But if they just lose one of two, it is over. The Bucks aren't good enough to go out there and go win 3 in a row if they lose one of two. They can't do that. They can't beat Phoenix. And 2 of the 3 games that are left will be in Phoenix. That will be a major problem for the Bucks because offensively, it's what I told you. They are not going to match that team at the free throw line. They're not going to match that team at the 3-point line. The Bucks, and they're such a great defensive team. Maybe at home, role players will get better. Chris Middleton will be a little bit more consistent. All of those kind of things. And it's not that I'm rooting for the Bucks or anything like that. It's just I got to call it objectively and see, this is what Milwaukee has to do in order to get back to this series. We'll see if they can do it, but they've got to turn it up incredibly to the 11th mark, like the amplifiers in Spinal Tap. Okay, our amplifiers go to 11, so they've got to turn it up to 11, or if not, they're toast, absolutely toast. But you got to love how this Phoenix Suns team is made up of, man. It's really cool to watch what's going on in Phoenix. So nice job by them. They take a 2-0 lead. We'll see what happens on Sunday. Remember, folks, many ways to get in on the program. You can smash the hell out of the like button, which is always incredibly important, and subscribe. So whether you're listening to the podcast in the middle of the night, in the afternoon, on the weekends, whatever, smash the like button, subscribe. It is so important. You can also, hey, listen, anytime you're listening, podcast or live or anything like that, Cash App, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. That's the other way that you can support us. And on Twitter, at Big O Show, follow us there. You can find out about any guests coming up, any breaking news on the show, anything that we're going to do. We'll post it on Twitter at Big O Show. Again, Omar Kelly will join us in about 10 minutes. We will talk all things Miami Dolphins with Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Looking forward to that. Dodgers beat the Marlins yesterday 6-1. So the Marlins take 3 of 4. That's outstanding. Alcantara did not have a great outing, went 4 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks. I mean, not absolutely terrible, but not at his level, in other words, that we're used to with the young man. Jazz Chisholm, by the way, had a home run in the game, batting 254. Tonight, they start a set with the Braves. 7:10 first pitch. Charlie Morton, who's a heck of a pitcher, taking on Zach Thompson from the Marlins. Thompson's 2-2 with a 2.25 ERA. So that is good stuff there. And, the other thing that I got to say about the Marlins, because we did have some news. They announced that Don Mattingly is going to they're going to pick up his option, in other words, for next year. So he's going to be their manager for 2022. And I saw where Miguel Rojas said that's it's a good thing for our team and this and that and all. Look, Don Mattingly looks like a really nice man. He does. He just looks like a fantastic human being. He was a hell of a player. I'm not a Yankee fan, but he's one of those guys, growing up, I admired because it's the Tony Gwynns, it's the Cal Ripken, it's the Derek Jeter. It's those kind of cats that just handle everything the right way, when they were players. Those guys I admire. I don't care if they didn't play for my team. You know what I mean? I admire those guys that are professional all the way to the end because it's incredibly hard to be that. So I have a lot of love for Mattingly, the player. The manager, I've never been impressed with. I wasn't impressed with the Dodgers, and I know the flukish thing that happened last year in the bubble and all that stuff, and they made it in a 60-game season, and, whatever. It was a nice story. But I'm not sitting there going, oh, my God, it was incredible managing. No, shit just went your way, dude. The sun shines on every dog's ass every once in a while. That's kind of what it is. And let me break down the definition of picking up the option for Don Mattingly. He gets another check. God bless him. A couple more million in the bank. He can live his life out strong and whatever his kids. This is the front office saying, we're not ready to take the next step to become a playoff team. So we're still kind of in a developmental stage next year. We can bring Don Mattingly back. Because I can guarantee you, when they get to the point, if they get to the point where their young guys are matured enough, and then they've got to go out and spend some money to go buy a couple of things to kind of make it a really competitive team and go for a division title and those kind of things, I guarantee you, okay, guaranteed, money in the bank, that they will make a managerial change at that time. When they're ready to take the next step, they will fire Ron Rothstein and hire Kevin Lockery. And when they are ready to take the next step, they will fire Renee Latchman and they will hire Jim Leland. Comprende, compadre? Some of you aren't old enough to know about these kind of things because you didn't witness them, and lately they haven't done those kind of things with any of the teams locally. Okay, that hasn't been but those two examples are the perfect examples of what I'm talking about. You get a certain coach manager to take you through the initial embryonic stages. And then when you are ready to take that next step, you go find the guy that knows how to produce winning teams, get the most out of playoff teams, get to the playoffs, those kind of things. So that's what that news was yesterday. Okay? That's what that news was yesterday. They're not going to spend big time next year. They know they're not ready for the playoffs next year either. So since they're not going to be, let's keep bringing back the stepping stone manager until we are at the stage where we think we're ready to go, and then we will part ways and we will pull a Renee Latchman. That's exactly what's going on with the Marlins. I can tell you that for a fact. I've watched this before. That's the only plus. Very few pluses about getting old, but one of them is definitely perspective. You know what I'm saying? And as you get older, you get perspective, and that to me is at least what I'm reading. Through the tea leaves, as they say. And Jimmy Amaya, thank you, sir. Sending in our Cash App. Very nice, Jimmy. Thank you, sir. Strong Cash App. That is huge, sir. I appreciate you in a big time way. Thank you, Jimmy, hitting us with a little Cash App. That is very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, let me see. What else do we want to talk about here on the program? We got a bunch of things to talk about. Remember, you can, well, you know what? I may not have, let me see if I answer a question too, because I don't have enough time to get into something else, because I got Omar in just a couple of minutes here. Michael Young says, I really appreciate the program, Big O. I hate how most Dolphin-oriented Dolphin YouTube channels just make up stories. No facts, waste of time. Michael, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I don't know what sites you're watching, but listen, man, we are the show that just brutally calls it like it is, whether it's good or bad. That's kind of what it is. Whether it's good or bad, that's just the way we call it. And there's you don't need to make up any stories. The storylines develop as they go every day, every week, every year. So there's really no reason to do it. I don't know why they would do it in any of those sites you're talking about, but I appreciate you for tuning in with us and following it up. Devin Jordan, thank you, sir, for the Cash App. And yesterday too, Devin, thank you. Appreciate you sending in the Cash App. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. If you're going to make the donation, Cash App is the way to go instead of the Super Chat, because in the Super Chat, they keep 30%. On the Cash App, everything goes to the show. So thank you incredibly. Thank you very much, Devin. You are amazing, brother. What else do we have here? Man, that Batman rocker pop looks so good. Why did I wait so long? You are correct, GP Trap. You got it. You are correct, sir. It does look good, the Batman rocker, and I appreciate you giving us the Batman rocker and adding it to the collection here on the show, and all of you that have contributed to our studio and adding different things. I appreciate it immensely, man. That's the reason why we're growing and growing very quickly, because of the incredible support that all of you provide every single day here. All right, we promised you the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with my man Omar Kelly. Yes, sir. He is ready. You ready, Omar? You ready to talk?
I am ready to talk. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I can't complain. I am looking forward to this conversation. What do you got planned this weekend, by the way?
It was my wife's birthday yesterday. I'm taking her out to a fancy dinner. It's places in Brickell City Center. It's Gia, I think. Could not get a reservation. I'm so disappointed in myself, but I'm just gonna make it work.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, you'll make it work. I'm sure it'll all work out when it's all said and done, my brother. All right. Let's get into some of the stuff here that we got that I want to talk. First of all, before I get into the Dolphins, dude, what do you think happens with Aaron Rodgers? Because this is a guy that X'd his family. So I figured if you don't talk to your damn family, what the hell's a football team? You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of weird.
I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to be able to sit out football. If you look at Aaron Rodgers, and I probably haven't even added up what his career earnings had be, I'm just going to guesstimate that he's made $150 million throughout the course of his career. So money is not really an issue. Once you get to a certain point, you're so taxed that really it doesn't necessarily benefit you to continue to make money. His wife is an actress, so I don't know what projects she's got lined up. From a physical standpoint, it would probably benefit him to take a year off from football. Maybe get himself on a good HGH cycle, be able to play till he's 45. So I don't think he plays. And I don't think these people who have this thought process that, he's got to play. He's got to play for what?
Right.
He's already a Hall of Famer.
Right. He has nothing to prove.
He's
zero
got
to prove.
Nothing to prove. Just won the MVP. Already has money. And he has control of this situation. And I really think that he wants a Tom Brady-esque situation. And understand, this is the new wave of players. And it has to be the quarterbacks first. They want NBA power. Who's the first group of players who are going to get NBA power? It's going to be the quarterbacks.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers saw Tom Brady, what he did, and he wants that situation for himself. And he shouldn't. Why should he not?
No,
People act like it's the Green Bay GM or the Green Bay coach that's making Green Bay go. No, it's Aaron Rodgers. I say the same thing about Tom Brady. And I have a great amount of respect for Bill Belichick. That's not what I'm saying. But Tom Brady, the Hall of Fame quarterback, was what made New England, and New England special.
Right.
And Aaron Rodgers is what makes Green Bay special. And lo and behold, the only thing that I don't know is if he sits out this year and his season doesn't get accrued, do they still continue to hold leverage and power and influence on him?
Oh, they will. Well, if Gutekunst is in charge and he's the guy that he hates, this is the way he sticks it back at him. The only problem I have with all of this is that it's clearly the player and the GM the issue here, because he's already said he loves his coaches, he loves his teammates, he loves the fans, he loves all that other stuff. He has love for Jordan Love, he says, that he gets along with the kid, all of that.
I don't know if he came out and he said in his own words.
Yeah, no, he did. He said it. He said I saw the bite where he goes, I love my teammates, I love my coaches, I love the fans.
Yeah, I heard that.
But he never said I love the GM. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
okay.
Everybody's putting words and connecting dots, and until somebody flat out says, yes, his representatives, I know how this works. His representatives, his people, his agent has said, yeah, it's an issue with the GM, fire the GM, and we're all good. We've never heard Aaron Rodgers say that. And speaking, since I mentioned Brett Favre, if you're Aaron Rodgers and you saw how it went down with Brett Favre, don't you look at that and say, hey, I want more control on how my career ends than Brett did?
Right. Yeah. And remember, from when Brett retired to now, players have more power. They have gained more power, not too much, but they've gained a little bit more in the NFL. They've gained a little bit more influence. They're not the NBA. We all know that the NBA and the NBA owners are 40 years ahead of football.
And say this. I don't know if I agree with you from this standpoint. The only one that's ever gained power is Tom Brady. Russell Wilson didn't gain any power. Aaron Rodgers clearly didn't gain any power. Drew Brees never had any power. Who else gained power? Who else had power? Like I don't see it. I don't agree.
No, I think players within their organizations have a little bit more say, a little bit more power nowadays in the NFL. Now we're talking increments.
Isn't that Russell Wilson's beef with the Seattle Seahawks?
Well, they did go out and make some moves for him offensively, right? I mean, so they kind of after all that crap, they kind of responded in a way like, okay, well, we got to improve the offense around this guy a little bit. So they did make a couple of moves. Listen, it's small, it's minimal what the NFL players have done, but now what Tom Brady did, that never existed for no player whatsoever. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is he's kind of opened it up a little bit more. And over the years, I got to say, the Barry Sanders and the Calvin Johnsons of the world and other players that have walked away from football, I think NFL teams also have seen that, and it's kind of hurt them a little bit. So they've kind of also, hey, we got to at least try to meet some of our players to a certain extent, because if we don't connect with them, they're going to walk away from the game because they're making a lot of money now. Now players can make money for a couple of years and walk the hell out if they take care of their money. I mean, we all know Le'Veon Bell will be broke because he's got 400 kids. I mean, and 400 baby mamas.
I didn't even know his baby mama situation.
He just had his seventh child with his sixth baby mama.
No.
Yeah, dude. Le'Veon Bell.
Wow.
Yeah, he isn't the brightest bulb in the chandelier. Okay. He's going to be broke, dude. Broke big time. And so Billy Corbin will have him on the next Broke movie part 3 as it is. But I just think they've kind of gained a little bit more influence, let's say. Not power, influence. No, not NBA. They're not NBA. They're not Major League Baseball. They never will be, probably.
Number one sport. Not in our
lifetime.
Bottom bare minimum, last in power. And there's a huge disconnect. And considering how much you put in terms of jeopardize your health, sacrifice your body more so than any of the other sports. That has to change. I don't know what's going to make it change. I don't know who's going to make it change, but I've always said it had to be start with the quarterbacks. And that's why when Kirk Cousins got that first fully guaranteed deal, that should have been a domino that struck, and Russell Wilson should have been the next one.
By the way, that's a little power. That's a little power there.
No.
Yeah. You just helped my argument, because I got to say, Omar, I never thought in your lifetime, in my lifetime, we would ever see a fully guaranteed NFL deal. That's power.
Rookie deals are fully guaranteed, but on the second deal,
I'm saying, but
here's the thing: that was 4 years ago. We haven't gotten another one since, and that shows you the stranglehold that these owners still have. Players, linebackers should have fully guaranteed. There's nobody who puts their body at risk more than linebackers and running backs. Those guys should be getting fully guaranteed deals, even if they are for 3 years, $15 million. But it's sad that we're not at that point yet. But that's just a reality of where this team is and where the league is. And right now, the owners have taken back the power. Even holdouts, $50,000 a day for a holdout. By the time you get to week 3, you're probably playing game 1 for free.
I don't know how the NFLPA agreed to that.
I'm so bothered by of everything that they agreed to on the last deal. To get weed, you gave up the right to hold out. Like, for real? Like, seriously? That.
Meanwhile, the NBA has been smoking weed and not testing for it for like 20 years now. It's like, like the NBA is like 40 years ahead of these guys. It's crazy.
20 years.
Oh, whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean. I'm Cuban, so I exaggerate. It's kind of in my DNA. Yeah. All right, let's move over to the Dolphins. So before we start training camp in a couple weeks, right now, when you're looking at that rookie class, who's the rookie that is going to make the biggest impact this season for the Miami Dolphins?
I just did something that I put up on the Sun Sentinel, which is the top 10 newcomers on the team in terms of the importance. And I'll tell you how the sausage is made. I actually had a rookie number 1 and had to move him out just because I knew with him being number 1, if I put art of him up there, the piece would not get the clicks that it deserves.
Oh,
but
okay.
Truthfully speaking, the number 1 rookie is Liam Eichenberg. And here's
Eichenberg. Okay.
Yes. Here's the reason why.
All right.
He's going to play, if healthy, 1,200 snaps and protect to his blind side. Tell me somebody more important than that.
Nobody. Nobody.
At right tackle. If he's a starting right tackle and plays all 17 games and protects the quarterback's blind side, Will Fuller's probably going to have to score 10 touchdowns to even match that in terms of the importance of stature. Will Fuller is an 800-yard receiver. Jalen Waddle is a 800-yard, 900-yard receiver.
By the way, if Eichenberg don't block, Will Fuller don't get 10 touchdowns.
Yeah. So to me, he's the most important rookie. And then we move to, the Jalen Phillips.
Waddle? Oh, Phillips. Okay.
Because right now, if you just look at the way that this defensive line is composed, you've got one pass rusher in Emmanuel Ogbah, and the other one has to be Jalen Phillips, or you're going to have to put a heavy reliance on your blitzing. And then if you do that heavy reliance on your blitzing, you're going to have to put a heavy burden
expose yourself,
on your cornerbacks.
Right.
And in the way Xavier is feeling and riding right now, I'm not interested in carrying you on my back. So you better figure something out with all this blitzing. So, you got to have 2 guys who that's when your defense is at its optimal level. Jalen Phillips has that talent, has that ability. He's going to be put, in my mind, in the Shaq Lawson-esque role where he's going to go after that left tackle, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited for Eichenberg because if they somehow hit on this kid, then if Austin now has had his first offseason in 2 years. because the poor kid was giving bone marrow 2 years ago, and then last year had the damn pandemic. So now I'm intrigued to see how much better Austin can get physically, all of that going into this season. If they can solve those bookends, then Tua can really excel.
Yeah, I don't really think the bookends are the problems. I thought the bookends with Robert Hunt out there at right tackle wasn't an issue. It's really the interior for me that gives me stomach aches, as I call it, the IBS of offensive line. It's not good enough. The center, we have no idea what mystery that's going to turn out to be. Center's a very important piece from a communication, from a teamwork tandem standpoint, and then guard. I got one written down in pen in Robert Hunt, and the others is kind of a mystery, whether it be Jesse Davis or Solomon Kinley or Michael Dieter or DJ Fluker. But what I do like is that they've got options. They've got guys that can give them a chance to have a successful offensive line, even if an injury takes place.
Omar Kelly, of course, joining us for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And, of course, make sure you check out our folks at EJD Construction, and you can go to the website, EJDconstruction.com, EJDconstruction.com. All right, Omar, what are your top 3 issues for the Miami Dolphins going into the 2021 season? What issues you need to see get resolved?
The first issue, it has to center around your quarterback, Tua, and can he read defenses quickly enough to execute the offense? And this isn't what's drawn up. This isn't the play that they call on 3rd and 8. This is whatever play you call. Is he going to be able to get to the line, read what's on the field, and when the ball is snapped, make the right decision and put the ball in the right playmaker's hands? And this isn't a check down. It's, I don't know what's going on. Let me throw a check down. The good quarterbacks, the quarterback that I believe he has the potential to be, is a quarterback who can quickly dissect what's going on the field and throw the ball to the open man. And that's what he did at Alabama. That's what made him so successful. What I realized is that a lot of that was the RPO offense, and a lot of that was Alabama's scheme, and it was kind of paint by numbers. I realized that watching the next quarterback, but it's got to be in there. It has to be in there. Otherwise, we're kind of wasting our time. And then the second issue I think that's very important for this team is finding another pressure player. Let's hope Emmanuel Aga can give us an 8, 9, 10 sack season, replicate what he did last season in sort of a breakout year. But I'll make this argument to you. But the majority of his sacks were created by free rushers, created by blitzes. It wasn't like he was disengaging from a left tackle or a right tackle and bearing down pressure on the quarterback. It was cleanup sacks or free blitzes. I need him to be good, and also you need somebody on the opposite side to create that vice grip pressure. That's why
you mentioned Jalen.
Yeah, absolutely. Jalen has to be that player. If it's not going to be Jalen, then let's hope Andrew Van Ginkel or Vince Beagle is ready to step their game up. And they've explored some pass rushers, and there's still good pass rushers out there. I would love to see them add one probably later on in the exhibition season after they've taken a look at what some of these young players can do and look at what Vince Beagle can do. And even the second-year players, they've got that kid from UCLA. They've got 2 guys that people haven't really thought about that much in terms of Jonathan Ledbetter, who started his rookie season in 2019, got a sack, tore up his foot, then never came back, got injured last year, never came back. He's an undrafted rookie, but, let's keep in mind that he did start his first game in the NFL as a rookie and produce a sack. Let's hope that at some point he can build on from there. That's wishful thinking. And then Jason Strobridge and also Tyson Render.
And Seiler, I think, will help out in the Seiler, whatever the kid's name is.
Yeah. You know what? Adam Butler, I think, is probably more of a sack-producing guy. I think he's going to have the opportunity to play the end in that 3-4 front. They've got some potential. The question is, and we should all hope that Christian Wilkins produces a little bit more than what he's done. Let's keep in mind he is a first-round pick. Let's hope he's just not filler. So to me, getting more pressure from the front seven is important. And then, and the number 3 thing, I think turnovers. You led the league in turnovers last year. It was a eye-opening performance from Xavier Howard. I think teams would be crazy if they want to try him again. A lot of teams were forced to try him because they doubled Byron, gave everybody else help, and left him as the only one who's covering the best man one-on-one. And Xavier delivered. The question is, can he deliver again? Can he stay healthy? So that's something that we got to look into.
All right, those are the 3 things there. Omar Kelly joins us here for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. One more before I let you go. I got Tua going 30-plus TDs this year. What's your prediction for Tua in TDs this year?
That's a lot. 17 game. No, it's not really a lot.
Two a game. It's actually just under 2 a game.
Just under 2 a game. I would say just under 2 a game. 1.7 a game. Do the math. I'm not a great mathematician. 17, 1.7.
Does he get more than 30, or are you going under?
I think they'll fabricate some touchdowns for him, just like Adam Gase used to do, throwing the ball at the goal line. So probably, we're probably looking at a 32 touchdown season. Not to say that it's going to be. I don't expect, eye-opening. Oh, we're so lucky and thankful that we've got Tua. I expect this to be a growing pains year, but I expect us to see forward progress and steady movement. Sort of a Drew Brees in his 3rd season type of year for Tua. And hopefully that's good enough to get this team to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, to me, I still admire the crap out of what the kid did last year, dude. Most people to come back from a almost a career-ending injury under a year, which I thought it was crazy that he was going to be ready for September when you had surgery in late November. I said, this is insane. Yep. And for that kid to come back and take the beating, because when I saw Michael Brocker slam his ass, I was like, oh my God, holy crap. And he survived all of that. And he had some moments where you were really against the Rams, against Arizona. He had some really nice moments at times that you're like, okay, I just think that he's so mentally tough. And because you've watched it now after injury, big moments in Alabama, some moments here last year. I think he's going to excel. I think what you were saying that I don't think we're going to be saying, oh, we're really lucky to have him. I believe we're going to be saying we're really lucky to have him, because I think he's going to be the dude that is super crafty back there, that when things break down, he'll find a way to make plays. I think he's that dude. I really do.
I think it's important for them to do whatever's necessary to alleviate the pressure off him, take it off him, and allow him to have a legitimate rookie season. I know a lot of people count last year as his rookie season, but this is his first off season. This is his first real opportunity to have training camp. This is his first time going a full training camp with the number 1 receivers and weapons, and he's actually got weapons.
Which will all benefit him, by the way, unlike last year that everything was a detriment to him to get prepared for the season because he was working on his body. It wasn't his offense. He was the backup. He wasn't getting the reps. All the stuff you're talking about, right? All the stuff you're talking about, he should be better this year.
Yeah, no question about it. But is he going to review when he faces the real heat? I mean, not to say he didn't face the real heat, but you're going to have more games like Oakland and Denver this year than you had last year. I do believe that. And there are going to be more opportunities for teams now that they know what he struggles with. They're going to give it to him. They're going to spoon feed
it. Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
He can stop it. And they got.
But remember, some of his struggles might have been also the lack of talent around him. Whereas now he has these quick shift guys on the outside, and then you've got a playmaking tight end in the middle of the field. Now all of a sudden and then you've got the big receivers with Devontae and Preston. All of a sudden now he has a completely different deck to deal with right now to play against other defenses. Now he's got more ammunition now to break those defenses down.
Absolutely. The question is, can he read it, see it, and execute? And that to me is the biggest mystery. I can honestly tell you, I won't know until we start training camp. I'm excited to watch it, excited to see it, excited to see his processing, excited to see them practice against other teams, the Falcons and the Bears.
Smart, by the way.
That's huge.
By the way, that was smart by Flores. To me, and I'm sure you might agree with me on this one, when I was covering the beat, I always thought teams were better prepared when they did those things than a stupid preseason game or any practice in the world. Those practices against other teams are the best preparation for the season.
Yeah, I to explain it to people, I could say this. By week 3, I know what's coming based on the down and distance and the formation, because I'm watching practice on a daily basis. So you telling me that the defense doesn't know what's coming as well? So the element of surprise when you're playing or familiarity when you're playing a different guy. And I remember, give you a perfect example. You know, Cameron Wake and Juwan James, they used to have a gentleman's agreement. And gentleman's agreement, we're not going to show each other up. We're going to go through practice and we're going to go through the motions and we're going to have a good, strong practice, but you're not going to show me up. I'm not going to show you up.
Right.
And that doesn't exist when you have these joint practices. So it kind of does exist. Some guys kind of work it out, but yeah.
I guess if there's some friendships involved, maybe they work it out.
Yeah, so some friendships involved, but yeah, you got to put out good film. But I would say this, the duration of Cam Wake's career, there might have been maybe on 2 hands the amount of practices he stood out, even though he was a monster during games, just because Cam just didn't practice with the same kind of violence and energy and intensity that he had against his own teammates. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, so smart. You got to pace yourself, man. You got to pace yourself. That's why he had a great career. Hey, one more thing before I let you go. Do you have any update on Vince Beagle that we talked about and Preston Williams, since they're both coming back from injuries? What do we know about them?
It's interesting you asked that, because the end of training camp, Preston practiced like the first 2 weeks, not training camp, OTA. Preston practiced like the first 2 weeks and then scale it down, and we didn't see him practice anymore. Vince Beagle, I think he finished the final week, but he had a pretty much a rehab assignment. He had a rehab assignment for about 1 or 2 weeks. I think both of them will be ready to go. I haven't really checked on. I know where Vince is training, and Preston's always a mystery man. So, but I considering I didn't expect Preston to be healthy and coming back from an ACL injury. I believe he came back seven months from an ACL injury. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to come back and be ready for training camp with a Liz Frank injury.
I always worry about Preston because he's a strong believer of Dogecoin. And then I'm just like, what? You're not following crypto, kid. You're just not following crypto, because he loves his Dogecoin, bro. He is all over it. I don't know how much crypto you follow, but Preston is like a nutbag about Dogecoin, which
where you get this from? His social media accounts?
Yeah, his Twitter account. I follow his Twitter account. Yeah, I follow all the players on Twitter.
Follow his Twitter account. I must be blocked. I don't know. I don't get any cryptocurrency. I'm just guessing. I gotta look. I don't get.
He loves his Doge, man. Every time Doge is trying to make some kind of a climb, he's there selling Doge and telling people to get in on the Doge and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a way you can get in on with him. You can talk to him about Dogecoin.
Bro,
I want to bring him on one day just to talk crypto, just to see how much he knows about crypto, or is it just the meme coin that he's following?
I know nothing about it, so his conversations would exceed mine.
Omar, as always, my brother, thank you for taking some time. We always appreciate it here on the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Strong stuff. Have a great weekend, my friend.
All right, bro.
You got it. There you go. The great Omar Kelly. Love it. Love it. All right. Good stuff with Omar. Appreciate him joining us here on the program and doing his thing as he always does. All right, what else do we have going on here we want to talk about? Remember, you can reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. Follow us there, as always, at Big O Show. You can also reach out to us, Cash App. You can support us there. Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. YouTube chat board. if you got any questions, comments, and don't forget, more importantly, smash the hell out of that like button. That is so important to smash the hell out of that like button. It is very important to do that. So thank you all out there. Matt Walker says 30 TDs. Sean Campbell says 34. I see, for me, I think we're going to love Tua. You know what I mean? I mean, those of us that already like the kid and we're rooting for him and all that, I'm talking about once it's kind of like the Dwayne Wade thing, that when you fall in love with the way he plays the game and all of that. I expect that. I anticipate that with Tua. I do. I just think the kid's going to be a hell of a player. I think he's going to be crafty as hell back there. I think he's going to be a quick decision guy. Not going to be hanging onto the ball and pat. The Chad Henne pat. No. I think this is a kid that, and the weapons around him now are designed for him to have success. That's also the difference now, too. The weapons around him last year were just not good enough. And you needed an incredibly experienced guy just to kind of move the ball and have some success in Fitz, but that's 17 years of experience. So that savviness is not there yet for Tua. It'll get there at this level, but it's going to take a little time. Mike No Go Zones, thank you, sir. He sends in a little super chat. He says, good afternoon. Oh, did you make it to the Disturbed concert? Dude, I'm disturbed, Mike No Go Zones. I had it like it was 2 days ago. That one was postponed. So it's still a couple months away. I had the wrong dates and all that. I was just, thank God I didn't drive up to West Palm. Hey, pull in. Why is this so empty? What the hell's going on? There's no concert. So yeah, no, it was my screw up. I thought it was Disturbed earlier this week, and it was not, man. It was not. So, but thank you, Mike No Go Zones. I appreciate you sending in the super chat. Remember, Cash App is the better way to send it. Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show if you want to donate and help us. Raging Dolphin Maniac says, Omar never says anything positive about the Fins. He's not realistic. He's a skeptic. If the Fins had another perfect season and won the Super Bowl 51-0, he'd find something to criticize. I don't know about that. I think he says positive things about the team. He's just, it's his point of view, the way he looks at certain things. Hey, listen, man, for many years, I pissed off a lot of Dolphin fans during, the Philbin years and the Wanstead years and the Sperano years, because, I was always slamming the Dolphins for that because they were a clown show. Even before the season would start, when they hired Joe Philbin, I said it was a mistake. I said, this guy isn't Jack. And you know how many Dolphins got pissed at me? Do you know why? Oh, you're not even giving him a chance. Well, it's like, okay, but, I talked to people behind the scenes. And I actually knew several people in Green Bay. And they told me, I can't believe they hired this guy. He has no personality. And sure enough, they were right. So I went with the people in the, that I know around the NFL, and a couple other guys told me he knows nobody. He's not going to be able to put together a staff. And sure enough, that was the other thing that I said. Not only will he not be a good coach, I said he's going to struggle to put together a really good staff. And I had Dolphin fans irate at my ass. That's how it goes, man. You're not going to make everybody happy all the time in this business. I've been a completely different dude with this regime. But then again, I'm the guy that wrote an article for The Athletic, said it on Sirius when I was at QAM at that dog crap station. I said fire Tannenbaum and Gase and put Greer in place. So I would be a hypocrite right now if I said I'm not a believer in Greer. I'm the one that wanted him there. Okay? And I had to fight a lot of Dolphins. A lot of you out there that were like, oh, he's been part of the problem for many years. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's not the guy making the decisions. He's just a black guy that gets screwed every time because they pass him over for the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. And finally, they said, you know what? Maybe that is the best candidate. And finally, they gave the black guy a chance. And look what's going on. Wow. Damn. Shocker. He was the best candidate all along for many years. It's just the way it is, man. And I've been for several years saying, give Greer a chance. It's the way it is, man. It's you're not going to make everybody happy at times. I pissed off a lot of Dolph fans for 20 years. A lot of them. Some of them probably now like me because I like what's going on now. But it's not a matter of me with any kind of agenda that I'm gonna tell you I don't like Tony Sperano settling for field goals and celebrating, or I don't like Joe Philbin picking up paper from the ground and complimenting the other coach, or I don't like Dave Wanstead who's just running his fingers through his hair, or Cam Cameron, and I'm not doing it for show. I'm not doing it because I want to get clicks. I don't do that. I did it because I didn't like them. I didn't think they were good coaches. And by some miracle, I was right. What can I tell you? All right, let's take a very short break so we can start hour number 2 here on the program.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
This is the Big O Show.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. Let's see. John Rouse, by the way, has got 40 TDs for Tua this year. That would be awesome. That's a deep run to the playoffs right now, if they're doing that. Oh, are you going to any of the practices? I will. Well, the thing is that if they start at 10 a.m., maybe you know what? I got to call the Dolphins. I don't know if I can actually do a show out there. If I can do a show out there, then maybe I can do both. I could do the show and be at the practice at the same time. I got to touch base with them now that we're doing this on a daily basis. But if I'm doing my show at 11, which, by the way, I think this show may start, in the next couple of weeks, it may start going at 10 a.m. actually, because we'll expand the show permanently for 3 hours. Once we add all the elements that I want to add to the show, then we will need more time to deliver everything that we want to deliver. So if I add an hour, it'll be the earlier part. It'll be at 10 o'clock. So we may end up doing that. Will obviously cause issues. But even though I started at 11, it would be hard for me to be at a practice, to be honest with you, when it's all said and done. But let's see if maybe I can do it from there. And then we could cover practice and get some people on and have some fun with all of that. That would be, I think, fantastic. Let's see. Nico Jones says, let's get those likes up. I agree. Smash the hell out of that like button, please. Please. Those of you that are watching, it's so important. Nico says, I took a tour of the new practice facility a couple days ago. Holy shit. It's absolutely unbelievable. The gym is the size of 3 LA Fitnesses put together. The indoor field is amazing. It's amazing. It does look awesome. I haven't taken the tour yet. Charles Cooper says, Big O, any chance you can have Sean Salisbury on the show? I really enjoy his take. Working on it. All right. Mike No-Go Zone says, Philbin had the personality of a wet mop. Maybe the mop had more personality. Hunter Long was squatting 300 pounds in there. Good to see him getting in the offseason workout Ross has no limits when it comes to spending money on the Dolphins. Ross is a damn good owner. He just had to figure things out. It's not an easy thing, man. When you start a new business, you learn, you make mistakes, all of those kind of things. Matt Walker says people kept using the 20-year quota for Chris Greer, but defended Ryan Tannehill, who started for 7 years. Coop the Loop says QAM is a dog crap station. You are correct, sir. It's a dog crap company, is what it is. George Lyon, the guy, white true star potential is Holland. Watch. I'm a Holland guy, so yes, I'm with you. Omar says training camp on Saturday, July 31st at 10:10. You know what? Actually, that first one, you're right. I could actually make that first one because it's a weekend. I could go to the weekend ones. That's a good call on your part right there, Omar. You are correct, sir. The weekdays, I will have an issue, but maybe the weekend ones, I will go to one or two. That's a good call. I will definitely go to a weekend one. Charles Cooper says, just driving around with my windows down. God, I miss Mad Dog, a Michigan man, I must add. God bless him, right? He's up there, man. He's watching. He's looking forward to the new Dolphin season. You know he's going to be up there going, all right, Miami. Ross spares no expense for the Dolphins. I do like that about him. He's a good owner, man. He's a good owner. It's a good owner. I don't want Ross going anywhere, dude. Okay? And I hope the dude that takes over for him has the same kind of passion that Ross does. I think Ross brings a lot to the table. Manny Navarro will be joining us at the bottom of the hour, folks. So we'll have a little fun with Manny. By the way, did you see Van Gundy yesterday in the game? Because he had an interesting line, which I understand what he was saying because it has nothing to do with racist or anything like that. But he was describing Booker, and he says he looks like a choir boy but plays like a hoodlum. And I've said this a lot of times about Dwayne Wade, not in that way. I always say Dwayne Wade's got that baby face, but he'll cut your heart out. That's what I normally say. And that's what he meant. He meant like he's ruthless. I don't think he meant hoodlum in the sense of like he's a criminal or anything like that. But it's like he's going to be nasty when it's all said and done, that he has that baby face, but then he's going to just cut your heart out. That's the line I like using for Wade and others like him. Russell Wilson's like that. Russell Wilson's got that nice baby face and a pretty boy and GQ, and he looks like the nicest dude in the world. And then when he gets on the field, he's going to want to cut your heart out. Certain guys are like that. They have that magic that they're very likable, but then in the sense of competition, they're going to be ruthless. And so it's kind of taken a life of its own. And, you got your people that are kind of losing it and, that's insulting that he would call him a hoodlum and all that. And it's like, what people don't understand is sometimes when you're broadcasting and you're talking for an hour, 2 hours, 3, 4 hours a day, or a broadcast, and you've got to come up with stuff, sometimes it doesn't come out right. Okay. When you're trying to describe something, but I completely understood what he was trying to say. And I knew that it wasn't meant to be in an insulting way. It was actually a complimentary way of saying it. You know what I mean? Because I think every coach and every front office and every owner loves to have the person playing for their team that is super likable and approachable and that sponsors will like him and all that. But then when he gets on the ice, the court, the field, the pitch, whatever, he's ruthless. He will cut your heart out, right? You want that kind of guy. Like Cristiano Ronaldo, pretty boy, GQ, cut up like we all dream to be cut up, right? I mean, every one of us would love to have the body that Cristiano Ronaldo has, right? Show up at the house and the wife's like, whoa, that kind of stuff. We all would love that. But then when he gets on the pitch, he's going to be a ruthless mofo, because that's just his nature. That's what it is. And so I saw that soundbite, and the people reacting off of it, I knew for sure we were going to have people that were going to completely overreact about that soundbite and take it in another way that it shouldn't be taken, you know? But anyway, so crazy stuff. Appreciate all of you out there, as always, tuning in. Remember, you can chime in on the YouTube chat board. You got a question, a comment, anything else out there. Twitter at Big O Show. The email, you can always reach out to us anytime if you're listening to the podcast at 2 a.m. on the weekends and you agree with something or you hate what I said. Send me an email, bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Everything's Big O Radio Show, Big O Radio Show, Big O Radio Show @yahoo.com. And of course, the other way is Cash App to support us. Cash Big O Show is the other way that you can support us. Let's see, what else do we have here? The Mad Dog and Neil Rogers are sorely missed down here. Yes. Both rest in peace. Both were absolute monsters. Devin says, did you work ever with Sid? Yes, I did. Troy, for Pete's sake, I'm so sick and tired with this PC world we live in now, and I'm progressive. This S needs to stop. It's not going to stop, bro. They're going to get more sensitive than ever. Haven't you seen these kids nowadays? Man, these kids are incredibly sensitive. Way too sensitive. You know? Let's see. Sean says, no more perks for me at training camp. My good friend Stu Weinstein retired. Stu's such a good dude, man. Such a good dude. PC world sucks. Yeah. You're right. Can't argue that about the PC world. That's for damn sure. It does suck. What else do we have going on here to talk about? Oh, did you guys see Shannon Sharp's comments? Shannon Sharp was tweeting out about Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I got to tell you something. I don't know what the part that screwed up about this whole comment is Shannon Sharp's an athlete. You know, if I make the comment or you make the comment and we don't have that kind of experience, I can kind of understand us saying something stupid like that because, okay, we're not perfect. We didn't play it at a high level. Maybe we don't understand the athletes and the athleticism it takes to accomplish any of this stuff, right? But Shannon Sharp saying this, I thought was just absolutely nuts. And he was watching Giannis, and he goes, Giannis needs to improve his conditioning. He only plays in 5 and 6 minute stretches. So then people started killing him, and like one guy says, he just sustained a possible season-ending knee injury. Give him a break. Another guy, that's not his fault. Laughing my ass out loud. Also, he just came off an injury. Another guy, bro acts like Giannis's leg wasn't bent backwards a week ago. And a guy says, right, yeah, it would suck if he, I don't know, hyperextended his knee less than 10 days ago. And then another guy, this can't be a sober take. And to me, that's the part that really, I'm like, Shannon, what are you watching? What did I tell you guys 2 days ago? Right? I admire the crap out of Giannis for the way he played in game 1. The fact that he came back from a hyperextended knee. The fact that I don't expect him to ever shoot well. He's not going to do that right now because that's not who he is. He's never been that guy. But he played his game, and he played at an incredibly high level in game 1, and last night was absolutely awesome. Okay, yeah, I know he's not a good free throw shooter. I know he can't hit threes. I get all of that. That has nothing to do with his knee or his effort or his rebounding or his defense or his absolute courage. I admire the crap out of Giannis Antetokounmpo, okay? I get his limitations. We all do. We all understand. But how do you question his conditioning? The fact that he's just simply out there is a miracle. A lot of people thought he may not even be available for this series. I gotta say, he is the ultimate Greek freak, because he's not just an athletic freak, but physically, he is an absolute freak. To be able to come back from that injury, from that hyperextension, that's some balls, man. Because you hyperextend the crap out of your knee, then you've got to get that confidence back that you can play on that knee again. And if there's any instability, and if that ligament is pulled, stretched, or whatever, or sore, it's not going to be nearly as durable as it normally is. So then it will also play with your confidence when you're running, cutting, jumping, all those kind of things. I mean, Shannon Sharp he's got to know better, man. If I say something like that, okay, well, fine. If you say it, fine. But a former athlete that I'm sure he's had to come back from injuries, how do you not admire Giannis Antetokounmpo? To me, it's impossible not to admire Giannis. I saw that and it was like, Shannon, what are you thinking, dude? What the hell's wrong with you? Conditioning? Conditioning. That's what you're going to question, his conditioning. Those are some of the things that went on in the game yesterday. It's the other one that I thought was actually kind of funny. So a reporter asked Jay Crowder. Now this is classic, okay? So a reporter asked Jay Crowder what the Bucks can do when Giannis scores 42 and they still lose. So he then responded. He goes, "Yeah, I'm not really into coaching those guys. I'm trying to beat them," which was funny. Everybody was rolling a little bit with it, and I got to follow up with this on that whole thing. If you're a reporter, what are you doing asking the opponent? And you want the opponent in the NBA Finals to give Budenholzer and the Bucks tips on what they should do in order to beat his team. I mean, seriously, I don't know what reporter asked that question, but you got to be put in the corner. You got to be put for a timeout or something. Maybe take his credential or her credential away for the rest of the week or something. Seriously, you're asking the opponent, hey, what do they need to do to beat you? I mean, that's the question you ask Budenholzer. That's the question you ask the Milwaukee players. Okay, you guys, hey, Giannis had a great night. What do you guys need to do to compliment Giannis and try to get a victory now that you're in an 0-2 hole? That's a legitimate question for any of the Bucks players. For a reporter to be asking a Suns player, it's like, what are you thinking? What the hell's going through your mind? That to me was just absolutely hilarious and twisted. Sometimes, I know we see it in the Super Bowl and Super Bowl week where they have those hundreds of reporters, and man, there are some really stupid questions that go on. But I kind of get it that week because it's Super Bowl week, so you're allowing news and entertainment reporters in there, and a lot of them don't know the sport. They don't really follow it. So they have their own agendas, different things that they're trying to do. So, yeah. What is Josina Anderson reporting here? I just got off the phone with Patriots CB Stephon Gilmore on his contract situation. I just want what I'm worth. However that plays out, every player should be paid what they're worth. That's just how it is. He told me he's not looking to push for a trade. It says, hopefully we can find some common ground and get it situated. I just know what I bring to the table in my style of play. Right now, I'm just trying to focus on myself and make sure I'm good mentally and physically. On the quad, to me, on how he's doing since the offseason surgery, I feel stronger than I've ever felt since the surgery. I've been running a lot, building full speed. Building full speed. On if he'll be ready 100% for camp, he says, we'll see if I need to be, but I also don't want to push it. So that's Josina Anderson reporting on the situation with Stephon Gilmore. I just saw that come across, so I want to make sure I read it to you guys. I mean, Devontae Parker can't wait to make him his bitch again, so we'll see, So when that happens, Stephon, take the field, baby. Parker's ready to make you his bitch one more time. That was a pretty good day when he tore up Stephon Gilmore and then talked trash to him. I was like, whoa, wow. That's the new Devontae Parker. I like this Devontae Parker. Oh, man. What else do we have? Anything new on Rachel Nichols? I haven't heard anything new at all. Now, we do have this. We have Maria Taylor getting some interest from others. This is how the story goes, as they say. Since you brought up the Rachel stuff, I had this note. Maria Taylor's been in the news a lot, and her contract is expiring with ESPN, as you all know. According to Andrew Marchand from the New York Post, Taylor's currently in talks with NBC and Amazon about a potential move, while Fox, CBS, and TNT are reportedly not involved. Marchand also revealed that ESPN is offering Taylor a $3 million contract. The reports were she turned down $5 million and wanted more. So they could end up losing her overall. So you develop a really good talent, and now you end up screwing it up, and now you're going to end up losing her. And it's kind of like we played that cut for you from Le Batard's show when Jamel Hill was talking about how when something happens there, they don't publicly shame you or anything, but they privately start to take your power away, lessen your appearances, diminish what you do there. And I think that's what's going to end up happening with Rachel Nichols. I think they will diminish her role slowly but surely, and then they'll fade her out. I think that's what's going to end up happening with her. I mean, at least that's my guess at this point. Matt Walker says Giannis played almost the entire game and had 40 points, a double-double, but I guess he's a couch potato. Yeah, no, it's to pick on Giannis at all is crazy. His conditioning, his dedication, his professionalism, all of that. Can we say that he can't shoot? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He should be shooting free throws for 2 straight days now. So at least maybe he can get better at the free throw line and hit a couple more, because that's going to be a problem for him from here on out. Okay. Ross gets to host Super Bowls. Money. Yeah. Hey, listen, more power to Stephen Ross. If he's making money, I don't care, bro. He does what he's supposed to do as an owner. Okay, that to me, see, I don't hold it from Stephen Ross that he is going to make money, that they're going to have national championship games in the stadium or the Super Bowl or any of that stuff. Look, I have a problem if that's all he was worried about and he wasn't trying to do, better for the Dolphins. But the dude hires anything that you need. He builds anything that you need. He gives you everything that you need. You need a new practice facility? Done. We need a new head coach? Let's go get it. We need to improve the stadium? Let's do it. Because I'll tell you, as a consumer, that stadium's a pleasure to go to. Okay? Whether it's a game, whether it's a concert, they've done, just magic with that. He saved the tennis tournament. And by the way, for that practice facility, selfishly, it's a little closer to my house now. So, I got to thank him for that. I know people in Northern Broward and Palm Beach are like, I'm opposite of that. It's farther for me. I get that. But seriously, I got no problem if he's going to make plenty of money. Go for it, bro. That's what he's there to do. But make sure you take care of my Dolphins. And he's doing his best. Now it's up to Greer and Flores. They had everything they need. Now they've got to go out and pick the right players. They got to develop the players, and they've got to create the culture. And they're in the process of doing all of that. So I don't hold it against Stephen Ross if he makes tons of cash. I'm good with that, man. He's a good custodian of our town. because he helped save the tennis tournament. He's improved that stadium. All the little things, the bridges, that what is it, that tunnel like, so you get away from the traffic, all the things that they've created. I mean, you bring Tom Garfinkel in, and that guy's a monster. Look what he's done. Place looks amazing. So I got no problems with Stephen Ross. I really don't. We got away from the orange carpets. We got away from, celebrating the damn Gators and Tim Tebow. All those silly things. None of that. That's gone. But again, when you buy a business and you've never done it before, you're going to make mistakes, and then you'll figure things out. And that's kind of what's happened with Ross. He's figured it out. It's taken him a little while, but he's figured it out. Viola and Sifu, they bought the Panthers. They thought they had the right guy in Dale Talon. They kept him around. They probably kept him around too long. And they finally fired him, and they made the move. You learn. Okay? You gave Dale Talon more than enough time. He could not build the winner that you needed. You got rid of him. You live and learn. Jorge Mas is in the middle of the early stages of Stephen Ross and the Dolphins. He's made 4,000 mistakes because the hiring of Paul McDonough, it looked like it was a good move, like Parcells, but it wasn't a good move. It was a terrible move, and it set the team back for a couple of years now. So now he's got a new general manager and a new head coach, and he's going to live and learn from the mistakes they made in the first year. It's normal, man. What's abnormal is to find the guy like a Mickey Arison who's never owned a team, and he buys the team, and the first move he makes is Pat Riley. Sometimes you can get it right from the get-go. And he got it right from the get-go. But more often than not, you're probably going to make a bunch of mistakes when you buy into a new business and you're running a new business. It's the way it is, man. So I got no problem with Stephen Ross. I like what he's done overall. Sounds like the kid in Airplane getting on Kareem's ass for being lazy, like his dad said. You tried dragging Lanier and Walton up and down the court for what was it, for 48 minutes or whatever. Tell your dad to do that. Who's the asshole that gave the thumbs down today? That's all right, man. It's all good. Charles, let him give the thumbs down. That's good. It's good to have a little adversity. George says, awesome for Ross to make money off his interest. Anything we ask for as a fan, we get. Some with the coaching staff. I agree. I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. All right. Remember, many ways to reach out to us. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. You can also reach out to us on YouTube at Big O Radio Show at Yahoo. On email, Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. Of course, we got the Cash App going, Cash Big O Show. And if you have any questions and comments, send them in on the YouTube chat board. We promised you we're going to have our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report with Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny, kind enough to join us now. Talk a little Canes, baby. How you doing, Manny, on a beautiful Friday?
Doing great, man. Just can't wait to get to the weekend here. I got my wedding anniversary, I think, on Monday, and my daughter's 6th birthday next Saturday. So I got a couple things to do here before my quote-unquote vacation period comes to an end, man. Then it's back to the grind, man.
What year is this on the wedding anniversary?
18.
Nice.
18 years.
Nice.
Yep.
So you're approaching the 20 mark, bro.
I know. It's crazy. But
I crossed 25 2 years ago, so
congrats.
I'm just slightly ahead of you, just a little bit there on the march, as they say.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So you got some big plan. Well, you got to have something really big for 25, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You got to come up with something that is just so you got some time. That's
the trip to Italy, man. That's the trip to Italy. She's been asking me to go to Italy forever, and then obviously COVID came along and ruined plans for about a year. And I said, you know what? Let's just wait. Let's wait a few more years. Wait till the girls are a little older, and then we can leave them with the grandparental units, as we call them, and then take off.
There you go.
So that's the plan.
I took my wife to Paris actually
Okay.
for 25. So it was dude, and we got to see Notre Dame,
Oh,
Notre
wow.
Dame, and that was
Right.
before it actually,
The fire, right?
before it burned down, unfortunately. So we were kind of lucky with all of that. But yeah, you gotta knock it out of the park for 25. For 20, I took her on a 7-day cruise on the Oasis of the Seas, I think it was called. Big ass ship. We had a double balcony and all of that. That was cool. But then on 25, I had to knock it out of the park. We went to Paris. New ring. The new ring is really important, bro.
Okay. That's good to know. I wasn't thinking about that, but now you put that in my head. All right.
That's what I did. I got to send you the video. I got the maitre d' because what I did was we had dinner at the Eiffel Tower on our wedding anniversary, and so I had her kind of, we were doing the whole dinner thing, and then I said, hey, let me go to the bathroom, and so I got the maitre d'. I gave him my phone so he can film it, and so he films me walking back to my table to give her the ring.
Oh, awesome.
So I got all of that on film. So yeah, I knocked it out of the park. Now I'm dog shit 2 weeks later when I get home, but at least for a couple of days, I had it going on. I had it going on. I was a contender for a couple of days. All right, let's talk a little Canes, my brother. We got a lot of things to talk about. First of all, when you've got 19 of 22 starters returning, this is, I think this is almost a perfect scenario for Manny Diaz this year, right? I mean, this is kind of what you build it up for, so you can have this kind of year with this kind of experience, and you've got to take advantage of it.
There's no doubt this is one of the most experienced Hurricanes teams in years, and obviously they're not the only one. Everybody in college football is taking advantage of that extra bonus year, right, that a lot of these fifth-year seniors get, and that weren't going to get drafted, that were going to come back. And so Miami's got a few of those guys besides De'Ara Kane. They've got Zach McLeod, who's been here forever. They've got Jared Williams, the right tackle, who's coming back for his 7th year. So they've got a lot of experienced guys, especially on the offensive line. That's where they really, when you think about it, right, that's what we always talk about is how experienced is your offensive line, and that's where it all starts up front. And so they've got, I think, a combined 190 starts coming back between 8 players. And so to me, that's a huge area. You think about 2 years ago when they were among the worst teams in the country protecting the quarterback, giving up those sacks, when Jaron Williams was getting sacked left and right and N'Kosi Perry was getting sacked left and right. Now you got, Zion Nelson, who people are talking about as a potential first-round pick down the road. You've got so many guys. Corey Gaynor's a 3rd-year starting center. You have Navon Donaldson, who's healthy, who started over 30 games his first 3 years before he got hurt. Now he's back for his 5th year. So to me, the experience, without question, is the strength of this team. That said, those guys got to go out and perform better than they have, man, because while they've been here, they haven't done a whole lot of big winning. So you hope that the experience leads to more success this coming season.
So what's the realistic win total this year with that kind of experience and your quarterback back?
Well, I mean, really, you look at Vegas, right? What does Vegas think? The 2 games that Miami is not favored in are Alabama and North Carolina. The rest, they're expected to win. So that tells you that they should win 10 games. On paper, they should win 10 games. I think that's a fair expectation for this group. Look, they won 8 last year. They were 8-1 before the wheel sort of came off against North Carolina. And then the bowl game, they fell behind, but had a chance to win that game late with their backup quarterback in there. So this is a team that, expectation-wise, double-digit wins is not out of the realm of possibility. And I know it hasn't happened very often here. Miami's only had one 10-win season since it joined the ACC. It's averaged 7.5 wins in the 17 years that they've been there. They've won just 3 bowl games over the 17 years that they've been in the ACC. So we expect this team always to fall apart, right? But it shouldn't. This year it shouldn't. You've got the quarterback in De'Ara King who's coming back from that injury. And the expectation is that them and North Carolina are going to be competing for the Coastal Division crown. And if that's the case, I think this team should be right there at 10 wins.
I'm with you there. Manny Navarro, by the way, from The Athletic, joining us. He covers the Canes on a daily basis. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. The offensive line, this may be the best offensive line in how many years? Over a decade?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you have to go back to when they had Chantrell Henderson and some other guys who ended up playing in the pros, Eric Flowers. They had guys that were drafted on the offensive line probably in the early part of this decade. I would say from a talent standpoint, it's probably as talented as that. From an experience standpoint, the most experience that they've had probably since the national championship team when they had Joaquin Gonzalez and Mount McKinney and all those guys in terms of experience. But I think, what's the most important thing for them this year offensively is being able to run the football better. They depended so much on De'Aaron King last year. And they were very fortunate that Mike Harley sort of broke out as a slot receiver and really became one of the better slot receivers in the country, I thought, by season's end in terms of production and consistency. What they need is the offensive line to run the ball better. They need, especially the interior part of the offensive line, the guards, a guy like DJ Scaife, a guy like Navon Donaldson, who I mentioned earlier, coming back from injury, Corey Gaynor. They got to be able to move the line of scrimmage a little bit more. And, they're going to face the ultimate test in Alabama that first week, man. I mean, you talk about size and NFL talent, etc. Alabama's as good as it gets, especially at that linebacker position. They're going to bring all kinds of heat in that first game, and we'll see right off the bat how good this offensive line really is.
Well, they don't have an experienced quarterback. So the question I was going to ask you now, which goes perfectly, is they lost 3 pass rushers. Who steps in? Who you got to count on? Because those are the positions that you've got to worry about, that you've got to fill. We started this with 19 of 22 starters coming back. Well, part of those starters that didn't come back are those pass rushers. Talk to us a little bit about that. What will Miami count on? What should Canes fans look forward to? Who are the names?
Well, one story that I wrote for The Athletic in the middle of spring football wasn't just about how good Jalen Phillips and Quincy Roche were, but really how heavy a workload both of them carried last year, because they played a boatload of snaps and still were productive. So what Miami got it from that position at the edge rusher was really, really unique. And so I think this year it's going to be a sort of a committee thing, even though Jafari Harvey, who's 6'4", 252 pounds, and Cam Williams, who's 6'4", 240, both of those guys are looked at as, potential big-time NFL type prospects down the road. I think, you're going to count on DeAndre Johnson, the transfer from Tennessee, a local kid out of Miami, Southridge, who spent 4 years there. I think he had 4.5 sacks last year. He's a guy that 6'3", 260. You saw in the spring game that this is an SEC caliber type of end, a big-bodied guy, a guy who knows how to get to the quarterback, a guy who knows to get into the backfield to create tackles for loss. So I think he will be definitely one of Miami's starters. Who starts opposite him remains to be seen. I think that'll be between Harvey, Cam Williams, and then potentially Zach McLeod, the former linebacker who he started a bunch of games his first 3 years at Miami. And then when Miami went to that striker system, with 2 linebackers and a striker who's kind of a DB / outside linebacker, McLeod really didn't play a whole lot the last 2 years. And last year was a rough year for him. He didn't perform very well. And so they moved him to edge rusher in the bowl game. He had his moments, and I think he's a much better pass rusher than he is a linebacker. And so he will be a rotational player. Harvey, I mentioned. Cam Williams, I mentioned. And then they've got guys like Chance Williams, who's coming into his second year, who was a very highly regarded prospect coming out of high school. He's a guy that you hope that you get something out of in terms of production whenever he's in there. So to me, it's a by committee approach in replacing Quincy Roche and Jalen Phillips.
What are the problems you see with the NIL? What are you forecasting to be an issue?
Well, we don't know from a jealousy perspective, right, what that does in the locker room. I don't know. Oh, you've had a lot more experience going into Dolphins locker rooms than I have. But the NFL guys, I don't know what kind of rifts that causes between guys when one guy's getting more advertising, more attention. I don't know if they care the same way, but certainly you're dealing with younger guys, right? Younger kids in their 18 to 22, 23-year-old range here with the Hurricanes. And this is the first time you're introducing opportunities to make money, right? Legally through the system. And so there are going to be guys that get the commercials and get the extra income because they're a more high profile recruit. Is that going to cause jealousy in the locker room? Is that going to cause a rift between guys? I don't know. I think that's the number one concern for me. If I'm a coach, what kind of a distraction does it become? Are guys constantly on their phone, on social media, posting things that are going to disrupt the locker room because they want attention for themselves. Those are all issues to me that, we're going to see how do 18 to 22-year-olds handle it. I don't know. I'm asking you, in the NFL, have you come across a lot of that jealousy type stuff between players and because some of them are getting commercial money and extra money, income on the side? I don't know.
X and Byron Jones, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's it right there. It's happening right now as we speak. Where it's happening right this second as we speak, because in free agency, you always overpay. And, X all of a sudden is surprised that his contract's out of date. When, everybody knows that whatever contract you sign 3 months from now, you're not going to be the top paid guy anymore. And a year from now, you'll be number 7 or 8 because that's just the way the cycle goes. One guy sets the market, then the next guy beats it, and the next guy beats that, and the next guy beats that. And now we have like, well, wait a minute, you signed the guy in free agency and you're paying him more than me, but I'm the better corner. And so we have that right now. So yes, it exists. And it's a great point you bring up because you wonder that defensive tackle that is busting his ass to hold up blockers and all that stuff. And here's the linebacker getting 150 tackles and all the praise, or the end getting all the sacks. And they're the ones that are getting the money. And meanwhile, nobody cares about, the defensive tackle because even though he's doing a great job, it's not a high profile position at that moment. And so, yeah, you wonder how that's going to work, that dynamic in the locker room. Will guys share some of the money? Will they treat their friends on the team like, hey, man, I know you're not getting it, but hey, come on out with me for some dinner or something like that, or come enjoy this where I'm at and my sponsor, or maybe they'll do things like that. You got to be kind of smart to play that game. It's kind of like the quarterback that gets all the big money and all that, and then he gets the big contract, and then he buys his offensive linemen Rolex watches. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some of that may have to take place for you to kind of smooth this out, but I think you nailed it, dude. I think we're going to have those kind of issues in the locker room. There's no doubt about it.
Well, and it's interesting that De'Aaron King has come out here early from the onset and said, hey, I want my teammates to be involved in this too. Like, he's trying to help guys. He started that partnership with Mackenzie Milton, the quarterback at FSU, to get other guys, appearance money, and autograph money to set them up as well. So I think Miami has the right leader in the locker room to lead them through an event like this. Sure. But you're right. Who's to say that come the 4th week of the season or the 5th week of the season, some of those offensive linemen or defensive linemen who aren't getting any shine are jealous and angry, and it becomes an issue. And again, these are 18 to 22 to 23-year-old guys that are going to be living versus guys in the NFL that are professionals that are making over $1 million or $500,000. These kids aren't going to make that kind of money. It's going to be sort of going out money, but still, you don't know the dynamic that presents. And then I would say the other aspect is the coaches, right? Because a guy like Dabo Swinney has come out and said that he would quit coaching, right? Because the moment players get paid, he wouldn't want anything to do with that, right? Well, what coaches are really going to be cool with all this kind of stuff happening behind the scenes, and which guys are going to be the ones that are agitated behind the scenes because kids are on their phone texting and typing and social media and doing all and saying, hey, coach, I can't go to this film session because I've got a presentation at the wharf or something, whatever it is. We'll see what kind of issues this presents. We've never been down this road before.
That's going to be really, really interesting. All right, Manny, appreciate you as always here. Manny, by the way, joins us twice a week here for the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. You can catch him here every Tuesday and every Friday, right? Is it or Monday?
Tuesday,
Friday?
Tuesday. Yep.
Tuesdays and Fridays. You can catch him here. I'm even getting confused with my own show here. Anyway, so catch him there, and of course, go to Canes Wear, 2511 South University Drive. 954-835-5597. Check out my man Brett and all the great people there at Canes, where they will definitely take care of you. Manny, have a great weekend, great insight. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Big O. Talk to you soon.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro, baby. Love it. All right, Manny, kind enough to joins us every week here on the show. Appreciate you all out there, as always, for tuning in and supporting us here. What else do we have to talk about here down the stretch? It is going to be an issue that once you get this money involved, you're going to have the jealousy involved. And there's going to be guys that aren't going to be happy that they're not making the same kind of money as another guy, yet they're busting their ass and helping the team win. That's why what American Top Team did, very expensive, but man, I loved it. I mean, it was such a cool thing to be able to give everybody on the team the equal opportunity, which we all know that that's not going to be the case with most of this kind of stuff, because sponsors are not going to be able to carry the entire teams. So they're going to go to the individuals that are going to give them the most exposure on social media and public, you name it, those kind of things. So that's always going to be the issue when it's all said and done. By the way, nice job by the Olympics in Japan to finally, listen, we are so grateful in this country that most people are getting an opportunity to get vaccinated. And so we're getting back to normal because we're at 70% vaccination. And so we have an opportunity to get back to normal, but most countries are not even in that area. Japan and those kind of places, they're down at 1 or 2% or something. And they've got cases, and that new variant is just the Delta one is just absolutely just wiping people out now across the world. And especially most of these countries that don't have everybody vaccinated. So it's been a tough go, man. Really has been. All right, folks, I am sorry, but we are going to wrap it up here today a little earlier than normal. Normally we go at least 2 hours. But we got some things to do that we got to take care of. But we appreciate everybody out there. As always, thank you for keeping it locked. Thanks to Mike No-Go Zones, Devin Jordan, Jimmy, Leon. Appreciate all of you out there for the Cash Apps or the Super Chats, however it is that you supported us. Thank you all out there for liking. Please smash that like button if you're listening on the podcast and any time of the day or night. Appreciate it. On YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe, share the link. We will all see you on Monday. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.